Will Tua start? And do you have to play Lamar at the captain? What's up, guys? This is the Edge DFS. We're doing Showdown, Thursday Night Football, Ravens versus Dolphins. This will be a quick show. Ellie and I are both traveling. Ellie, you had a day in Chicago yesterday, I'm assuming, so it's been a long night for you. Thanks for jumping in. It was very last minute. I'm going down south in Florida to shoot some stuff. So anyways, we're going to jump right through this. We're not going to mess around. We're going to get right into this game. This is a Thursday night game, so anything can happen. But as you can see, Ravens are huge favorites on the road. There's going to be rain tonight, most likely. We're recording this in the morning, so it's Florida. You know, they're going into Miami, so anything can change. The weather is a little bit crazy. It could fluctuate pretty quickly. But lightning, rain, it makes things interesting. You never know what can happen. It's a 46.5 total here. Ellie, do we have to focus in a rain game like this? Should we be focusing more on the run game? Are we worried about kickers? Should we prioritize defenses in a game like this? What are your thoughts?
I think I definitely think defenses are in play. I don't know how much of the Miami defense I really want against Lamar. It seems that he's been able to come back against these 21-point deficits and things like that. So I'm not getting too crazy there. But Baltimore's in play. I think the kickers are definitely in play. And then, of course, the Baltimore run game is always in play.
Yeah. So injury-wise, obviously, Tua is still questionable with a finger. He was limited in practice this week. Brissett would be the starting quarterback. If Tua plays, I'm interested in him for sure. If Jacoby Brissett plays, I'm not really interested. He's 9,800. I'm just not interested in playing Brissett this week. His ceiling is like 20 fantasy points on a good day. Even last week against Houston, he only had like 11 fantasy points. He threw the ball like, 30 plus times. So even with volume from him, you're just not going to see it. Now, can he get like a random rushing touchdown on the goal line? Yeah, and kind of mess everything up for everybody, of course. But if Tua plays, I'm interested in him. Brissett plays. Are you interested in Brissett tonight?
Yeah, maybe at 9,800, I'll have a little bit. Got to have somewhere to pay down, and that $400 off of Tua might be worth something, but we'll see.
So Devontae Parker, supposedly, look, from what I've seen, he's on the IR. That's what I've seen recently. He's priced at $200. DraftKings thinks he's going to be on the IR. I'm seeing on different sites he's questionable. I'm not. Look, do your research today as we get closer. I don't think he's going to be active. I think he's on the IR, but we figured we'd at least tell you guys that. There's been some conflicting reports. Will Fuller is obviously out. Sammy Watkins is questionable. He's got a hamstring injury. Whenever you got a wide receiver with a hamstring injury, especially an old guy like Sammy Watkins, even if he does play, I don't know how good he's going to do. He's questionable. That opens things up like Duvernay. That opens up some more options, and it makes Brown, Andrews, and Rashad Bateman an even better play if he's out. Lat Murray is doubtful, so I don't think Lat Murray is going to play, which I really actually like. No offense to Lat Murray, but it really muddies things if he's in. Now you got 3 or 4 guys you got to worry about. So that's pretty much it when it comes to injuries. Let's just go real quick over here to Fantasy Cruncher. Lamar Jackson's 13.8K, Tua is 10.2K, Brissett's 9,800. Lamar, I don't think you have to play him at captain in this game. In the past, we focused on Lamar in the captain spot because he was a huge part of their offense, and he still is, don't get me wrong. But at this point, the Ravens are a little bit more healthy. Hollywood Brown's come on, and Mark Andrews has come on. Rashad Bateman has come on. You have a lot more other options for him to go around to, and him being a 30+% at the captain in this game, I don't really like playing him at captain. Are you? And in the past we have, but now it's a little bit different. So are you going to avoid him at captain tonight?
Yeah, his pricing is just too out there. I don't think I'm going to have much. I think you're going to have to find somewhere else to play and save some money.
All right, so running backs, Myles Gaskin's 9,400, Devontae Freeman 6,600. You got Ahmed at 800. He hasn't been getting the volume. I think he's got about 20% of the snaps or something to that effect. But a guy at 800, if he can steal a goal line carry, get you a touchdown, maybe 2 receptions or something. It's worth trying with Ahmed. I'm not going to be too over the field, but he is going to be 15 to 20% owned because there's just not a lot of value on this slate. So Gaskin, Ahmed, both good options. Gaskin's expensive, and going up against a team where they might be losing by 2 to 3 touchdowns, I don't know that he maybe just gets played out of the game script. So I don't know if I'm going to have a ton of him, but he's going to be less than 30% owned, so I think it's a field degree, so you can get a little bit of leverage by playing some Gaskin, because I think he could get you 2 touchdowns. Devontae Freeman, 6,600, Le'Veon Bell, 5,400, and Tyson Williams, 1,200. Freeman, in my opinion, is the route I would go on this particular game script, especially if it's raining. If they're up, they're probably going to hand the ball off to a guy that can run between the tackles, but he can also get outside. Le'Veon Bell is 5,400. He had a touchdown last week, and then he had a touchdown a couple weeks ago. Both good options, especially in a game like this. I think you can get multiple running backs in this game. So favorite guy here for running backs for you, Ellie?
Yeah, I think I'm with you on this, Devontae Freeman. But I think Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman are both in play here. They're both doing all right. Devontae Freeman with 13 carries last week, and he had a receiving touchdown, and then Bell had 11 carries and a rushing touchdown. So at their prices, that's definitely something worth considering. They're likely to get some value at that point.
Yeah. So wide receivers, Jalen Waddle's at 8,200. You've got Mac Hollins at 4,200. Now, those are probably the only 2 guys I'm going to consider. Mac Hollins is the clear number 2 wide receiver at this point. He had a touchdown last week. 4,200, not bad for a guy like that. If he can get you a touchdown and a couple receptions, you're going to be feeling pretty good. Jalen Waddle, 8,200. If Tua plays, I think everybody gets a boost on the offense if Tua plays, in my opinion. But Jalen Waddle gets a little bit more of a boost. We know there's some chemistry between the two. I tried to find some pattern between, some correlation between when Jacoby started and Tua started, what receiver got more targets, if somebody got more fantasy points. Jalen Waddle had a slight bit more targets and fantasy points, but nothing really to focus on. I think you should get involved with both of these guys, especially if there's garbage time. Waddle and Mac Hollins are good options. Albert Wilson at 400, very risky. He's not really getting involved, but a guy that's $400 and maybe can get you. We saw in week 2 he got 6 targets. They don't really have a lot of options at the wide receiver spot, so they're gonna have to pass to some of these guys. Preston Williams has been basically a healthy scratch for many games this season. He's at 200. I don't know if I'm going to go that low, but maybe I'll get a 1 or 2 of him. Who's your favorite Miami wide receiver that you're going to go with?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Waddle is obviously the clear guy at 8,200. That's a pretty nice price. I get the matchup isn't great, but that price actually kind of makes him for an interesting captain play as well. Yeah. He's definitely a big play guy, and he can go out there and get 8-10 receptions without too much issue.
Yeah.
Mac Hollins is just a little pricey for me. I understand that he's the number 2, but I don't know how much exposure I'll keep getting to him. It does look like he has 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks, but I don't know if that's enough, especially against a team that has the secondary like Baltimore.
The highest he's ever been this year has been 1,400, and now they really boosted him up.
Yeah, just because he has 2 touchdowns. And to me, that's just a little bit much. Now, Albert Wilson, again, if he's active, if he's their 3rd wide receiver, they're probably going to need him. There is a good chance that Baltimore will be leading in this game. So at $400, I'm not too upset taking flyers on him. But look at whoever they end up playing and elevating to the active roster. A guy like Lynn Bowden Jr., he's got running back eligibility, so or they use him at running back a lot too. So if he plays, you have the rushing upside.
He's on the IR.
That's kind of what
is he? Yeah, he's on the IR. Yeah. But there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys.
Good example, but a bad person to use.
Yeah, Isaiah Ford. I mean, look, there's $200 guys all over the place. Focus on trying to, mix them in, because if Albert Wilson's the number 3, he's not a real number 3 wide receiver potentially. Right. So, Preston Williams was a guy 2 years ago. He was one of their best guys. He got injured. I don't know he's just not maybe gelling with the offense anymore, but he's a talented guy. So try to get some of these $200 guys in. When it comes to Baltimore, and don't go too heavy on him, mix him in a little bit. Marquis Brown, Hollywood Brown's $11K. He's priced up because, he's got home run ability. He's been playing well this year. And at $11K, I don't think his ownership is going to be as high as it should be. I think he'll be under 30%, and he won't be a very high-owned captain. You could go pay up for captain to be contrarian with a guy like Marquise Brown and still get a ton of upside. We've seen Marquise Brown go off. We know what he's able to do, but he's priced up so much on a slate like this where you want to get you want to get Lamar at captain, or you want to get Lamar in the flex. You might not be able to afford him, so I would be cool with putting him at captain quite a bit. Sammy Watkins is questionable. He's 5,600. If he plays, I'm not really interested in him because of that hamstring injury. I'm just not interested on a short week. Rashad Bateman, 5,800. I like Rashad Bateman at captain in this matchup a lot. We've seen him coming on lately. He's a draft pick for this team. They want to get him involved. We've seen his targets go up. We've seen him do well this year. At 5,800, man, you could fit a lot of guys into the flex and still have a 2-touchdown upside or 10-target upside for him. James Proche at 200, worth talking about. Devon Duvernay at 4,800 had a great touchdown catch last week. He's 4,800. That's a little bit too much for him. The only way that I would ever consider playing him in this matchup is if Sammy Watkins was out. But I think he's just priced up too much. And I don't think that you have to worry too much about his ownership. If he does score a touchdown, he's going to be less than probably 5% owned. It's not going to really hurt you that bad. So favorite guy here on Baltimore.
Honestly, I think it has to be Rashad Bateman. We're seeing him get a lot of involvement in the offense. It looks like him and Lamar seem to have a decent rhythm going. So that's really the guy that I like. And at 5,800, to your point, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily have any captain exposure, but I definitely like him in the flex. He's going to be an interesting piece to fit in, just given that price. Other than that, I think you kind of just take flyers where you can with Marquis Brown. Sammy Watkins and Devon Duvernay, I'm probably not going to get to. They're priced up like they've been playing all season long really well. Devon Duvernay, he had a touchdown on Sunday, and that's where his pricing's coming from.
Yeah.
Other than that, like he doesn't warrant a $4,800 price tag.
No, especially when all these guys are healthy. Back when he was the number 2 option and he was getting some, of course he didn't pay off for us ever. Now he's doing well and he's priced up. It's not worth it. All right, so tight ends here. This is a showdown slate. Tight ends have been crushing. We know that. The field knows that. I think the ownership goes up a little bit on these guys, but they're still good plays. Mike Gesicki, 7,400, had some amazing one-handed catches last week. There's not really any correlation between whether Tua or Brissett plays and whether or not he goes off. I think it's just a team thing. If the Dolphins are going to be successful and they're going to get over 21 points, he's probably going to be involved in at least one of those touchdowns. 7,400 for him is a great captain option, a great flex option. I think you got to try to fit Gesicki or Waddle into at least one of these guys into your lineups, because if they do go off, I think one of them is going to actually pay off for you. Mark Andrews, 8,800, obviously always a good option. We love throwing our tight ends at captains. Mark Andrews is of course a good option. He hasn't had he's had 2 games where he's hasn't had like a lot of success. But last week he had 10 targets. If one of those targets turns into a touchdown, you're talking about he's going to be in the green, not in the red. So, and then quickly we got Durham Smythe at 1,800. I think he is a solid low owned option, and he's going to be priced at 1,800. I actually like taking a flyer on him every once in a while. You got Adam Shaheen also at he's at 600, worth maybe taking a shot at. So. You got to go Gesicki and Andrews. Are you interested in Smith and Shaheen here?
Yeah, I'm more interested in maybe Shaheen than I am Durham Smythe. I don't mind taking flyers on these guys. They're going to get involved. Miami likes to run dual tight end sets, so I think you might be able to grab one of these guys for value. But again, I mean, we've seen there are a couple different places that you can grab some value, so I don't think it's anything you need to overcommit to here. Yeah. Grab a lineup or 2 to get different.
All right, so Justin Tucker's 4K, Jason Sanders 3,400. It's a rainy game. I mean, look, Miami they have 1 win or 2 wins this year. They're not going to be kicking the ball, from their own 35, 40-yard line if it's 4th and 2. They're probably going to go for it more often than not in a game like this, especially a game when they can be down 14-0 right off the bat against a very aggressive Ravens team. I don't think you need to focus on kickers. Maybe get a couple. They're priced in the area after building a couple lineups. They're priced in an area where they're going to be over-owned because there's not a lot of value in that range. So defense, Ravens 4,400, Dolphins 2,800. Ravens, you always have to consider the Ravens, especially going up against a bad team like Miami, and especially if Brissett plays. And look, even if Tua plays, we've seen Tua, he's turnover prone on occasion. So you got to consider Ravens, but not Dolphins defense, correct?
I don't know. I didn't realize Dolphins defense was quite that cheap. 2,800 is a little bit interesting for me. They are a pretty solid defense. They do have opportunity to take the ball away.
Yeah.
Do they have any defensive touchdowns this year? I don't know. But look, they're not a terrible defense, right? Their head coach is literally a defensive coordinator who was transitioned into a head coach role. So 2,800, I don't mind it. They'll probably be less than 10% out anyway, so it's not a terrible flyer.
All right, we're gonna go. Let's see what. Let's optimize and see what happens. Okay. See what I mean with they have Devontae Parker at $200 projected for like 9 fantasy points. Let me remove him. All right. So Lamar, Ahmed, Sanders, Rashad Bateman, Andrews, and Gaskin. I don't hate that, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't play a lineup like this. But this is what you're going to probably get in a Lamar Jackson lineup. You're going to get a kicker and a punt, and then some middle range guys. Gaskin and Andrews is fine. Bateman, Sanders, Ahmed. I don't hate it. But let's build a tournament lineup together, Ellie, real quick. Who do you want to use at captain?
Let's start with Rashad Bateman.
Okay. Let's see if it's even worth it going down that low. Let's put Lamar in, right? Obviously. Now, where do you want to go from here? Do we want to get one of these running backs from Baltimore and just get him in right away?
Yeah, let's throw in Devontae Freeman.
Devontae, okay. Do we want to go Gesicki? Do we want to go Jalen Waddle?
I think you go Gesicki, Waddle, and see what's left over.
Okay. I think we can do that. That's going to be... Dude, I like Bateman at captain. This is nice. 5,300 remaining, so you can get a guy like Duvernay, Ravens defense, Mac Hollins, kickers, something like that. Or you can go down from Devontae Freeman. Let's just try this. If you wanted to go Lev Bell, that gets you 6,500. Does that do enough for us? That gets you Rashad Bateman. Oh, yeah, no, he's a captain. That gets you Devontae Freeman, too. So I don't even think it's really necessary to do that. But, rotate these guys out. You could get a Sammy Watkins there. I like Rashad Bateman at captain. That's pretty nice. Let's do one more lineup together. Do you want to do like a Gesicki? Do you want to do like a...
Let's throw in Gesicki.
Let's just try that. Let's see how that works. I like Gesicki. Gesicki can get you 2 touchdowns. It wouldn't surprise me. Do we want to do a Tua at all?
Yeah, let's
throw in Gesicki at captain. Who do you want to go? Where do you want to go now?
I think Rashad Bateman is still the answer here.
Yeah. Okay. Bateman is nice, man, at that price tag. 9,100 left. Do we want to get... We've got to probably get a running back. Do we want to... Oh, man. I think we should try to get after this, let's take 2 out and put Myles Gaskin in. But do you want to go with Devontae or Lev Bell again?
Throw in Salvin Ahmad, actually.
Okay. Ahmad.
And what is
8,300. That gets us Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Actually.
I mean, I don't hate it. That's a Miami onslaught for sure. I don't hate it. But more likely, I'd probably just leave some money on the table, go down to Freeman or something. Just game script wise.
If you're going to do that, come off of Ahmed.
Okay.
Throw in Freeman and then come off of Ahmed, see what we can get.
See what happens. 2,500. So that gets us to Durham Smythe. That gets us Tyson Williams, Patrick Ricard. I don't love going that low. I mean, Durham Smythe is fine. I just don't love going that low. But you also have like Adam Shaheen. It's not bad.
Yeah,
let's take 2 out and put I don't think you should forget about Myles Gaskin. He's a big part of this offense. The game script doesn't work out great for him, but there's still a chance that he can absolutely go off in a game like this. So 3,300. That's a Durham Smythe. That's a Dolphins again. Let's get off of let's just optimize here. Let's see what happens. Ahmed, Bateman, and Andrews. I don't hate that at all, actually.
Yeah, that's not a terrible lineup.
So
I'd run this.
What I'm seeing here is going middle of the road price-wise with your captains is buying you a lot. It's really sometimes it just doesn't pay off to go on that route, but I think your ceiling is still pretty high and the ownership's gonna be super low. I still think that you should try to get a Hollywood Brown lineups in and some of these high-end guys. But who do you think is your favorite captain option based on what we've just done for tournaments?
I mean, I think this is a week that I'm going to be leaning towards Mark Andrews or Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
Those two options just look too good, and they're priced just too well.
I think Hollywood Brown is a solid option because you're paying up to be different, and if he's really under 30% owned because of his salary, that is a almost lock for me. And if he just doesn't have a good game, then it is what it is. But his upside is so high, and I really like Rashad Bateman. I like those lineups with Rashad Bateman. He's going to have a breakout week one of these weeks. He really is.
Yeah.
And we just got to nail which week that's going to be. All right, thanks a lot, guys. We're at 20 minutes. This is the fastest show we've ever done. We appreciate it. Tell us if you guys like a shorter show like this. Let us know. Hit the like button. Subscribe. We really appreciate all the help. Like I said, we're trying to get to 500 subscribers by this month. So help us out with that. And we'll see you for Sunday Night Football. Take it easy.